This is the backing from one of those jewelry over the door, hanging over the door jewelry boxes or chests like you buy on I bought it from HSN, Home Shopping Network, and I decided I wanted to put it on the wall, so it went in securely with two sinkers in the back and two large screws that the back of the armoire, I guess they call it, fits over those screws and holds it up. And then they give you another little spot down here where you put another screw, and that screw went into wood. So it was up there securely, the back, that's why it's still holding. And I didn't even have it full of jewelry. I'd taken out a lot of the jewelry, most of it, so that it wouldn't be so heavy. So the backing held good. But a few hours later, I was standing around here and deciding on where I was going to put everything and put it back together. And I heard it creaking, and the whole front part came off, which is like this. Showing this one, I mean, the whole front part with the mirror came off. This is another one hanging on that wall or over the door. So that's what happens. They're basically just glued. The whole front of this thing is just glued over here. There's a little mirror up here, so that's why it'll catch me every now and then, like, ah, filming. So this is glued here, and there was a bar here with little hooks, which I'll show you in a minute. So anyway, this is still on the back. So it might have held well if this had been reinforced. And I'm sorry, I'm moving around here like crazy. But anyway, I've got it. It fell down in the floor, and my jewelry, what little bit I had in there, went everywhere. So I have it over here laying on this twin size bed now. And as you can see, the bottom part fell off. This is the part that was hooked to the back, right here. This part here has a mirror on the other side, so it's laying down. And this just came loose at the bottom. And you can see what this stuff is made out of. It's like a paper board kind of stuff. It's not even wood. I know they do this on the backings of things. And these rungs here held, they held these little kind of boxes that go down in the bottom of the thing. But these things broke off, of course. And I had reinforced these earlier with some extra nails, so that I reinforced a lot of this. But it never occurred to me, dummy me, that the whole thing would come off. So this part right here held because I had reinforced it at some point. But the thing is, it's all loose and all that, but it's not broken. So it's just that the glue has came loose, and this is the backing here, where the backing was supposed to be, was glued to that. And you can see that they just had, these holes are here if you were hanging it over the door and the backing was on it. The braces for hanging over the door went in here. And there was an extra one here and here. Well, believe me, I am not going to put it back on the wall if I can get it back together, but I'm going to put a screw in every one of these. I had a screw up here, and I had a screw here when I was hanging it over the door on both sides. And that's all that held this thing over the door, with tons of jewelry in it. So this is what they give you. And look where the screws went. Between the outside and the inside, the screws went kind of in between, and that's where they have it marked for you to put it. So how in the world this held up as long as it did, I don't know. Because there's just, if you try to put it in here, then you've got this crappy kind of wood that it's a paper almost like. So, but in between, where there's just glue in there, and that's all was holding this thing to the metal bar that hangs it over the door, and you can have as much as probably 200 or at least 100 pounds of jewelry in there. So anyway, I loved it. I love the way it looked. I love the way it organized so beautifully. I put some of the little dumb hooks in here, extra stuff to hang some big rings on. But because it's not actually splintered yet, I'm going to attempt to glue this back together. And then I'm going to reinforce it on the sides with little teeny nails and add some glue here and there. And I'm going to try to make it sturdier and more durable. But I don't know that if I put it back on the wall. Let me move back over here and go back over to the wall where I have it. If I put it back on this wall, I will have my husband put a brace along the bottom here, a wooden brace underneath it, and secure that well. And because we know there's a wooden beam in here because we hit wood with that, we'll secure that, and then that will give it, that extra brace to keep it from falling again. So that's what you have to put up with these things, though. Again, let me switch around here past that yucky closet, and there's one hanging over the door right there, and that's the way most people use them. It's over the door. So I bought this one used, and somebody had put a little catch on the side of it here. I can't even hardly open the thing, but anyway, they had altered it somewhat and put this big dowel in there, but it was just raw wood. They dumped it at a thrift store, so I bought it for less than 20 bucks. So I covered that with some felt, that little thin felt material you can buy Walmart or wherever. I glued it and covered that so that it wouldn't scratch the bracelets. But I just have, cheap costume jewelry. I don't have expensive jewelry. But this is the way it looked before it failed. I mean, you've got, if it'll show up good, you've got your earring container, which I hate that. I put, in the back of mine, I put a piece of white or yellow paper. I wish they would make these things where they were all white inside. See, right here, I just hung this temporarily. See, it's loose. To put a piece of white paper in back of that. That's what I'm going to be doing in here. This is just sitting in here. But otherwise, see, I've got two of them in here. You've just got black, and the jewelry just doesn't show up well against that black. Like all of this dark stuff, I would much rather that was white or a pale something. So I've been remaking them to suit me. So anyway, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm probably a nut for doing that, but I'm going to see if I can actually put it back together. I'll let you know how it turns out. Thanks for watching.